To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the nomadic lifestyle, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. So, as I told you in yesterday's video, Carolyn and I bought a piece of property. And it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, my entire life, I have been in debt. I've owed somebody some money somewhere, sometime. But about 6 years ago, I really aggressively stopped spending money and just started paying off my debt. And I got debt free. And since then, I've just gotten in this habit where we don't spend money. Carolyn and I have a budget that we live on. It's about $800 a month, $850 a month. And the rest of it goes into savings and emergency funds. And I know that I've been criticized immensely about our nomadic lifestyle and how that we need to spend more money. If you're going to enjoy life, you need to spend more money. Well, the thing is, it's not like every day of our life as a nomad, we weren't spending money. That's not true. There were times we were spending money. It didn't make the nomadic lifestyle any more enjoyable than when we weren't spending money. We did it for 3 years. We had plenty of time to experiment with different aspects. I remember when we first started the nomadic lifestyle, we were traveling everywhere. We ran down to Mississippi and then over to Tennessee and then up into Virginia. And we were sightseeing. We went over to Washington, D.C. Oh my gosh, Washington, D.C. was miserable. We only stayed for like 15 minutes and spent all that money. So we did try spending money. And we did recognize, wow, okay, that ain't no fun. I mean, you're always running around, your hair's on fire. That wasn't for us. And then we just started staying in the national forest, and that was a bit more relaxing. It really was. But it just never felt like this is what we wanted to do. But the whole time we're saving money, just like we'd always had. And then when Carolyn and I finally realized, you know what? This isn't for us. The last time someone tried to break into our camper while we were asleep, a drunk tried to break into our camper, we just said that's it. We're just tired of it. And we decided to quit. Now, in my past life when I was in debt, I wouldn't have been able to just quit. I would have had to see if I could have gotten a loan to buy a piece of property. Do I have enough money? Is the loan company going to give me money? I'm not making as much money as I did, 5 years ago. I'm self-employed now. Being self-employed is much more difficult to get a loan than it is when you're employed by an employer. Because each year you make different amounts of money. Some years you don't make as much as you did the year before. You just wouldn't know if you could actually get a piece of property. It would have been very difficult to get a piece of property. And so then you're asking somebody, hey, can you co-sign for me? Or can you do this? And so you're always dependent on somebody to help you out. Well, this time, when I decided to buy a piece of property, I asked the guy, do you want a check or do you want cash? And initially he said, oh, no, just a check, that'd be fine. Well, then he called us back and said, no, we're going to need cash. So, the most difficult part about getting the cash was driving down to the bank. It was 130 miles away. Got there at 9 o'clock, 9 to 5. That's on Wednesdays they don't open at 10, so we had to sit there and wait for it. That was the most difficult part. And then we went over to the title company, met the guy, handed him the cash. He handed us a warranty deed. We went over to the recorder's office. And now the property's in our name. That's how easy it was. When I bought my first house, we paid payments on it for 10 years. And in 2010, when we decided to leave, the house wasn't worth any more than what we bought it for. It was just like we rented it for 10 years. It wasn't really ours. Well, this piece of property is ours. If I decide tomorrow, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do the off-grid living. Let's just not do it. Well, we can't do that. We already got a piece of property. Well, the property still has value. We spent $4,200 on the property. You know what we could sell it for? $4,200. Hopefully we can get more out of it and actually make a profit off of it. I don't feel like I've grown up. I don't. I feel like I'm still this young guy, trying to question all my decisions in life. Should I buy a piece of property or should I not buy a piece of property? But in this case, I've worked so hard to be grown up. I wish I would have done this years ago. Just stop spending money. So for those who criticize that we need to go spend more money so we can enjoy life, I'm not sure that's still a necessary thing to do. You know, we tried one thing and it didn't work out, and we're no further in debt or a loss of money than we were 5 years ago when we started this. We didn't gain or lose anything. And now I have this ability to buy a piece of property, to try something else that might make us happy. And if it doesn't work out, nothing gained, nothing lost. We're still ahead of the game because the property will still have value. Since I've started this debt-free thing, which is the true sense of freedom, I've been told, you can't take it with you. Well, that's true. I guess you can't take it with you. I understand what you're saying. But on the other hand, I want to make sure I got enough for tomorrow. I think that's where the mistake always comes in, is we'll spend as much money as we can today to make ourselves happy today. And then when tomorrow comes and you're not happy, you don't have the money to make you happy. So I'd rather just go through life making sure that I have the ability to do something tomorrow if I don't like what I'm doing today, which is exactly what we did. And so now what we're going to do is we got $2,500 left over. Long story, but we decided that $2,500 is what we're going to do to get us to living on the property by April. And then after that, we'll just piece together a little house, you know, $500 a month until we have a house built is what the plan is. That way we can just take it right out of our monthly paycheck. And it'd be like a rent, you know, for $500 we'll build the floor. And another $500 we'll build the wall. And another $500 we'll build the ceiling. And so over the next several months or a couple of years, we'll just continue building a little piece of the house at a time until it's all built. And then that doesn't even put us in any financial strain. The $2,500 that we're going to spend to get us to live on the property is the only money that we're going to be out. The $4,200 is still there. The property is still $4,200. So we didn't lose that money. While we're building the house, we can start saving a little bit of money back to replenish the $2,500 that we spent to get the camper modified so we can set it down to buy solar panels and to get the well running. And that way, if something goes wrong, let's say I get hurt or the truck breaks down, we still have money available to get ourselves picked back up and fixed. You know, the truck breaks down, we have to get it repaired. Let's say the transmission goes out, it's $5,000. Well, we could spend the $5,000 still have a place to live, be debt-free, not owe anybody any money, get the transmission repaired, and be back on our feet in just a matter of a couple days. Life is so much easier when you have cash on hand, a good emergency fund that can replace everything you got. I always say you need an emergency fund that can replace everything you got twice. And once you have that accomplished, then of course, you know, insurance always helps out, but insurance isn't going to replace a transmission. And then you have to have a savings account. So the way Carolyn and I do it is we have $800 budgeted to spend every month. That's what we spend to eat and pay our bills or, you know, whatever we have, like our internet bill. And then we spend $350 and put that in an emergency fund. We do that every month. $350 has to go into the emergency fund, unless we've taken money out of it. Then we put all the leftover money that we have into the emergency fund until we get it paid off. Once the $350 is put into the emergency fund, then we put the rest in the savings. And over just 5-year period, we have enough money available to replace everything we have twice, to buy a piece of property, and get ourselves living on this piece of property in just a couple months. And I think that's what makes a person happy, is being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and still not worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.